Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma Toys here, and yes, as the title would say, Grail. So let's step back a little bit. So people like to use the term Grail quite a lot. It may be something they've tried to get a hold of or something. Now, lists is just, there's two things. So I have a list, I do it every year of stuff I want, and there has been kind of two things that I class as Grail. Now, what I kind of class as Grail, just something you don't come across. You do sometimes see people with them, but you've never really seen them in person. So this, so this is something. So there was two on my list. One, in the past few years, I've seen one or two of them, and there seems to be a few have leaked their way to the UK. I've seen one to them with a few of them, but I've just not had the money. I mean, they're talking like 300-400 quid for most of these, which ended up not being too far off what I ended up paying. But that's another story that we'll get into. But yeah, because I've not really seen it apart from late, and I know there wasn't many, it was more produced over America and they have to be imported and all this stuff. This and a killer tomato that I'm after. They're the kind of two that I would class as Grails, just because the killer tomato I don't see. I just literally, it is so, like, a few people have them, but even in the collector world, I don't see them much. Same with these. I don't see them that much, and maybe see them a little bit more common of late, but I don't know if that's just a find, or maybe a few have managed to be procured from somewhere. But even in American toys, where they come from, I don't see them that often. So we have this. So I was cruising on eBay one night. I was in between watching Caddyshack. That's how that was. And I came across this on eBay. It was, I think, £180 it worked out, and then it was like fees and everything else, so 180 something. I think it was like 60 quid. So I think it worked out. So it worked out when I paid it, it'd be £240 and a bit of change. As I said, I've seen these from 300 as the lowest I've physically seen someone selling them. So I was like, well, 240 is a godsend. So I first sent an offer. I tried to lowball a little bit. And then after about 5 minutes of thinking about it, I was like, look, this is a Grail. I've got money that I've saved, that's in my savings. I'm still, I'm still, by the time this video comes out, I would have more or less replaced this money in my savings. But I don't come across this, and when I have come across it, they've already been sold. So as I said, I tried to get everything sorted for this year. So yeah, so I have this. So this turned up. Well, it was supposed to turn up. I got a message from the seller. He's been quite generous of talking to me, like when to turn up and stuff like this. It didn't turn up, and I was a bit surprised. So I went on the app and realized there was a question mark. This is when it dawned on me on custom charges. So as you can see, the sticker, I did get a custom charge, £47.92. Grant, as I've dropped it, is never a good thing. Hopefully the person said, okay, I did not mean to do that. Hopefully I've not broken anything. So yeah, so almost 50 quid for something that cost me 180. So I've had to pay around about 30% of the cost of the item for charges, which I feel is way extortionate. But so that brings my grand total up to £287, or basically £288 I paid for this. So £12 cheaper than what I've seen. I probably could have got a deal from a vendor for this, but I just don't come across this. Now you're probably all asking, what is this? Do I class it as a Grail? So this is it in there. You can't kind of see my hand is there, but let's. Okay. Yes, it is. So there are two versions to this toy, the long claw and the short claw, and I got the short claw, and here he is, 14 inches of him. So a lot of people are probably sitting here like going, what the hell is this? This is Tendril. Tendril is a monster from the line Inhumanoids. Inhumanoids had 4 human characters, and then they had loads of creatures, and they had 3 big creatures. You had Tendril, you have Decompose. Decompose is by far the hardest one, and that was the one I was first after. And then we have Metlar, I believe, is the big flamehead guy. Now, I did come across a Metlar at Leicester Vintage, but it had a broken head, and I didn't really want one. I mean, looking at it, it's got a little bit of a scuff mark there. But granted, this is an 80s toy. The arms are a tiddly little bit sticky, but that's kind of, I'm used to rubber. They move all right. Looking at it, they're all I don't want to move say there's a little bit of mark in there as well. I mean, he probably does need a wet wipe over, but oh yeah, and there is a little black mark there. So a few little marks on him, but for the most part, he is complete. And, you know, as I say, Grail, I never thought I would own this figure. As I say, I've only seen like 2 of these in the wild, and both of them have been sold. But by the time I've even come to see them, as I say, someone had some on, and I did message them to see if we could, maybe if they got more of them in before the next NEC, which I don't need to do now. So, yeah, so I have a Tendril. I'm absolutely blown away. I'll be sending a message to the seller to let them know get right. But yeah, absolutely amazing. A great figure, a little bit dusty, but as I say, is there. But yeah, are you a fan of the humanoids? Have you got one of these in your collection? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I've been Sigma Toys, and I shall definitely see you in the next one.